James Starling here for the DeeJam YouTube channel after today's semi-final matchday experience. Make sure you check out the highlights down in the description below before we spoil the result. I'm joined by both managers from Bildeston and from Sporting after today's game. Boys, first of all, I'm going to start with yourself, Jonathan. Obviously, commiserations on the defeat today. Let's start off with the big talking point. I know you've been having a bit of a discussion with the ref afterwards. Was it a red card? Was it not a red card? Keeper coming out of his area, etc. Let's start off with that. That was the big sort of first talking point of the game. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one. You don't want to see players being sent off in games like this. Obviously, you want to try and keep 11 men on the pitch. I genuinely don't think it was the critical moment in the game. It was an interesting point. The debate for me is, had he not been taken out and the striker gone round the keeper, I think he would have scored. The referee felt that the keeper was going for the ball, and I'll take his word for that. From where we were, it looked like he was just being wiped out. It'd be difficult to say, but that certainly wasn't the only moment in the game that changed the game by any means. And genuinely, I thought the referee was superb. And apart from that, I mean, there wasn't a bad foul in the game, I don't think, not what I would call a vicious foul. No. And even, from where we looked, it'd be interesting to see on the video, it looked like the keeper's just taken the forward out. But the referee deemed that he was genuinely going for ball, and that's.
I think.
Do you agree?
Well, I think that the ball was running away from the penalty area. If it was goal bound or towards the goal, then I think Jonathan. I think it's straight red all day long, but he might have got there a bit earlier. He'd have nicked the ball. So it's a hard one. It's one of them where you say, in Jonathan's place, I'd have wanted a card, but obviously I'm happy for my keeper to stay on the pitch.
Yeah, and I genuinely, I'm not saying we were playing for him.
Let's face it, he'd have killed me first half. His team would have killed us first half if that keeper and have pulled off about 10 minutes later a double save,
superb,
which was absolutely superb.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that double save for a moment there. It was that I would say was probably the big point in that first half. It was so energetic, so fast paced, but talk about your keeper. I mean, he should be playing in a higher league. He's absolutely superb. I've seen him a couple of times now. He's brilliant.
Yeah, he is. I think if he was like 6 inches taller and lost a bit of weight, he probably would be. And that's why Ipswich released him, because of his height. Right. So it's just what I'm glad they did. But when he very first came to me, he's a friend of my youngest son's. And Ipswich had just released him, and he said, "I'll never play in goal again."
Wow.
So, and he came to me, and we played him centre mid, and his feet were fantastic.
Yeah.
Great player in centre mid. But then he relented in the end, and we got him back in goal. So, which is a great thing.
Yeah. And let's talk about the first half to begin with. The amount of chances that you had at Jonathan in that half. What was your message to those guys at half-time after the fact that you've had so many opportunities in that? I to be honest, from a neutral perspective, I thought you guys should have been leading at half-time.
Yeah, I think I think we created loads more chances in the first half. I think the stats will prove that. I thought after 10 minutes, Ash had the one that hit the post, and there were and the keepers made 2 or 3 exceptional saves. I mean, on the double save, you almost want to miss-hit that, because if you don't have any power on it, or it just dribbles, then the keepers often, they've dived and it's gone in. But I mean, it was a phenomenal save, and probably that was more critical in my view than
to get up and get the second save in.
Phenomenal.
To get up and get the second save in from when the player's like 3 foot, 4 foot away from him was fantastic.
Yeah.
For a nimble player, and don't forget he's a fat lad, so that's exceptional. So when you keep on about that red card, I would be whinging like hell.
So what did you say then at half time in terms of your conversation with the boys? Because obviously you had you sort of ridden like a little bit in that first half,
mate,
but you were going in at 1-1. You must have been delighted, really.
No, they got severe rocketing. That Jonathan will tell you, we played him a few weeks ago and lost to him. But that was not ours at all today.
No.
We didn't keep the ball. We keep the ball. That's what we do. We keep the ball and we play football. And today, I don't know if the occasion got to him. It's the fact that you're dangling a carrot at playing at Portman Road, Jonathan, isn't it? He kept his together. Mine were pumped up before I picked them all up on the Market Square,
Right.
and they just, terrible today. We were terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah?
But yeah, not good football at all. But having said that, I'm chuffed to bits for them, and they worked hard. They are fighters, all of them.
Yeah.
And that came through, I think, in the end. But the result could have gone either way.
Yeah, I think obviously the first half was so fast-paced from both sets of teams that the second half was, the second half was slower. It was managed by both teams quite well. It was just a case of who was going to take their chances, and fortunately for you guys, you managed to take your chance, really.
Yeah, but like I said, we had to work flipping hard to get that because he was so well organised.
Yeah.
His team was, and when I made a positional change on the pitch, he switched his squad round straight away. I had him doing it,
Right.
it was, like I say, it's a frustrating day for me, but just I hope they turn up, which they didn't today at Portman Road.
Yeah.
Couple of crucial players out now as well today, so hopefully they'll settle the boys down when they're back.
Yeah. And obviously ask yourself about the league in a moment, Jonathan, but for yourself, and obviously now going towards, going to Portman Road, the players looked absolutely buzzing at the end there. There must be, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for some of these boys, isn't it, really?
Yeah, but again, that's why you've got to keep them down. That's why you've got to calm them down.
Yeah.
Because that's why they played like they did today, because that it's all in their head and they're too pumped up for it. So that's not a problem, pumping them up. That's for the occasion. That's keeping them calmed down.
Yeah.
Which he like I said, his team and him, he's a stabilising influence on them. Whereas I don't think I'm quite that character myself.
So let's move on from the actual game itself and talk about you two now going for second spot in the league and obviously for promotion. Jonathan, you've only got the one game left. Is that how are you sort of feeling with that final game? It's quite a few weeks away now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's I think we've got a couple of weeks off, so it's up to Bildeston really. It's theirs to lose in the sense that they've got games in hand, so the pressure's on them really.
Yeah. And for you guys, you've now got 2 games in hand in the league. You've still got the cup final to play for. It's been a good season, hasn't it?
Yeah, he's I mean, last season was a good season for us as well. We made the Bob Coleman final, which is, to me, is a bigger cup, as in the fact you've got all the senior teams in it, Jonathan, haven't you? Yeah. And we could have won that in the 90 minutes as well. Yeah. But this season, we've been riddled with injuries. And as far as promotion goes, we've got to play every game to win. Jonathan's 3 points ahead of us. I think we're just about better on goal difference than he is. He's got a hard one at the end. So really, I need to win 2 out of that 3. But having said all that, like I told you before, I'm not fussed over promotion. I've got one team. Jonathan's all set up. He's got, the club is all there, to move to senior football. So, if we do get promoted and he doesn't, then, that would be a great shame for him, really, And, if I don't get promoted, then that's not a bad thing. I can still keep building my club, first and reserves.
This is not me being sour grapes, because everybody who knows me will tell you this. I would have rather got promoted than gone to Portman Road. Now, the players probably... And
say the opposite.
And obviously the deal that me and Spike did has obviously worked.
I think we'll leave it on that, boys. Pleasure.
Hang on. Before you cancel that interview, just them people in Bildeston and businesses around Bildeston, we as a little club are desperate for sponsors. We're desperate for help down there. You've got one little team that are working really hard, punching well above their weight. We just need some help from sponsors and from our village. And
also volunteers, Spike. And credit to you and your boys. Scotty and Bart. You put in a lot of effort. And any football club you go to, there's a few volunteers. I think a special mention ought to be made also to Bury Town in terms of this facility today has been brilliant. But even not even, but at this level, you're still only relying on a few volunteers at big clubs like this, and that's what local football needs. And I hope Bildeston enjoy their day out, and all the people that do put things into the club enjoy their time at Port Road. So
thanks ever so much. Well, I'll see you. Still be coming to cheer me on anyway, Jonathan. You know.
That's a nice touch. Yeah, make sure you guys hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. It's a great message there by Jonathan to talk about non-league football. Yeah, if you want to get involved, any club it will be willing to have you. Adios.